How's it going, guys? In this video, we're going to be walking through how to install a light up in your ceiling where there wasn't a light before. And so this is a chandelier I bought on Amazon for about 20 bucks. This is a little thing called a old style box, electrical box. I'll put a link to this in the description. But I bought this at Home Depot. You can also buy them on Amazon. It was actually cheaper at Home Depot. I only got this for like 3 bucks. And so the way this works is I use a stud finder, and in my case I'm using the super cheap magnetic stud finders. These things literally just lock onto wherever it is you have a little nail in the wall. And so basically on these walls, the bars or the wooden posts are running vertically like this, and then on the ceiling the braces run this way along the house. So what it is, I used a stud finder, I went up on a little ladder, and then I marked off where each one of the studs were that I found. And so now I know that in our attic we have these 4 posts running this way. And what I want to do is I'm basically going to hijack the electricity from that light that's already in our ceiling and bring it all the way up to here. And so I've already done the work of cutting out the drywall, and I used this guy right here to do that. And I literally just drilled a little hole in it and then just spent a bunch of time. I traced out with a pen on the ceiling the perimeter of this guy, and then I just drilled a hole and then I just sawed around that hole to make that, and if anything, make it a little bit smaller because, you know, there's a little bit of a lip on this thing, but literally just did that. And then on these blue things right here, they've got these little wings that come out, as you can kind of see. And so these wings are what grab the actual drywall in those 3 places. And so as you tighten down these 3 screws, it will hold itself up just like that. And then the other cool thing with these guys is that they've got these little doors on either side. And so this is where we're going to be running our Romex through. Romex is just a fancy way of saying electrical wire. And so this is basically going to give us a white, black, and a ground wire. And so I'm going to go up in the attic and hijack the power coming off of those 2 guys. And we're going to be running the wire down to this box, the Romex. And then from there we'll have good power, and I'll be able to screw on the faceplate or the mounting bracket for this guy right here. And then as soon as we turn on that switch right there, that light will come on, but we'll also have a chandelier as well for our kitchen table, which I think will be pretty awesome. So that is the plan, and stay tuned. All right, guys, so here we are up in our attic, and I've got my little head torch on too. Sorry about that, but yeah, so these are the wooden posts that we see running that way along our ceiling. And then we use our stud finder to find the approximate location of those on the ceiling itself. And these pipes right here are what deliver the cooling and stuff for heating for the house when it gets cold. And so basically, for me, one of the hard parts here is when you're in the attic, if you're putting your weight somewhere, you want to make sure that you keep your weight on these posts, because you do not know how much weight the actual drywall itself can support. So you should really be careful about that. This is all insulation because this attic gets really hot and you don't want to heat up your whole house. So, especially on a hot day. So insulation's your friend, and do put it back when you do these types of jobs. But basically for me, the goal is going to be finding where that electrical box is. And so this thing right here, again, another great place to kind of put your feet when you're walking around up here. But yeah, the goal is to find where this stuff is. And so this is what it looks like. This is that daylight I'm looking for. So this is the top of the box, which means if I walk down those 2 bars, somewhere down there, it's going to be that new hole we just made in our ceiling where we want our chandelier to go. And so I am going to figure out how to rip a hole in this guy. So to open this thing up so that we can get some wires to go down that way to the other light, This is the circuit box itself, and there's a bunch of these little things you can bang out. This whole thing is supported by this piece of metal right here, but in my case, the easiest thing I can do is to just bend these little metal tabs down, just like that. And I also have some pliers, but you guys don't get the point. So you can just work this thing down. And now there's a little opening for us to run some more wire along these boards. All right, so I'm gonna take this wire and I'm going to thread it through this hole. Then I'm going to take the rest of this guy and run it down to where we cut out our new slot. All right, here we are at the other end. And there's our beautiful thing, and we're gonna shove this dip in there. And you can see how this guy goes all the way back to that other outlet. All right, here's what it looks like with the wire all the way down here. And we're just threading this guy in and making sure these little posts line up just so it looks kind of cool or flush, and then put this thing in. I think we're almost good to go. All right, wires are all stripped, and now we're gonna put them into these connectors. So we now have installed the light switch and the light fixture, and we've got that Romex connecting this guy to that guy. So now I'm gonna go here and I flip this guy on. You can see these lights come on, and I can turn up the little dimmer here because we use some dimmable LEDs and make things brighter. Now we've got a very cool little light for our living room, which is just awesome. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope this is helpful stuff, and be well.